Yes? Yes, Jen, what is the issue?
Didn't say anything. It's just the recording that started.
Your voice is not clear. Maybe when communicating, maybe you can use the chat section. I think I'll be able to get it. I've said professional firms are firms that deal with the provision of skilled expertise services such as accountancy services or accountancy firms, medical firms, law firms, etc. Okay. Then you write below that. These firms are required to prepare a set of final accounts. These firms are required to prepare a set of final accounts which should include the following. These firms are required to prepare a set of final accounts which should include the following. Number one, Number one, statement of profit or loss. Statement of profit or loss. Number two, statement of financial position. Statement of financial position. Number one, statement of profit or loss. Number two, statement of financial position. Let's start with number one, statement of profit or loss. Statement of profit or loss. Let's start with the first one, statement of profit or loss. It is prepared in the following formats. Let's call our farm Kamau and Onyango. Kamau and Onyango advocates. Statement of profit or loss. For the year ending. For the year ended, whichever time it is ending, and assume that our figures are in shillings thousands. Now, we start with incomes. We start with incomes. Now, Jane, tell me, supposing you are a professional practitioner, for example, an accountant, okay, an auditor or an accountancy, an accountancy firm or an accountancy advisory firm. What would be your major source of income? What would be your major source of income?
Could you kindly repeat the question?
Yes. Supposing you are, for example, a lawyer, what would be your major source of income? I'm asking, supposing you are a lawyer or an accountant, for example. An accountant, I don't mean an accountant who is employed, I mean somebody who provides accountancy advisory services to firms. What would be your major source of income? Of course, you are right, consultation fee. But in our case, we don't call it consultation fee, we call it cost charged to clients. Cost charged to clients. We call it cost charged to clients. That is actually what you're saying, the consultation fee. Cost charged to clients. After you get your cost charged to clients, you are closing work in progress. Closing work in progress is the cost of incomplete work as at the end of the year. The cost of incomplete work as at the end of the year. Then you less opening work in progress. The cost of incomplete work at the beginning of the year. And once you do that, you get your total income. Once you do that, you get your total income. So that's how you get the total income of a professional firm. Then, once it comes to expenses, you put the ordinary expenses. You less expenses the normal expenses that you expect from an organization, remember that this is a business. The ordinary expenses that you expect in any business, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is the business of a professional firm. Just give me the first one, I'll give you the rest. One of you, Jane or Kinodia, I can see there is somebody was joined in just. Okay, what ordinary expenses would you expect a farm to incur? They're just the normal ones. Electricity and water. Kinodia says so. You are very right. So water and electricity. Now that you've given me the first one, I'll give you the rest so that we move fast. Rent and rates. Salaries and wages. Salaries and wages. Maybe, for example, depreciation of assets. Maybe budgets, because of course, once in this business, expect kuibiwa. Kuibiwa, watu kupatana na pesa zako, hiyo ni kitu ya kawaida. Once you subtract those expenses from your total income, you get your net profit. You get your net profit. Yeah, administration expenses. Most of these are administrative. Administrative expenses, you are right. Most of these are administrative expenses. Like office rent and rent are purely administrative. And that is how you prepare the statement of profit or loss of a professional firm. That is how you basically prepare the statement of profit or loss of a professional firm. Now, unless you have a question, we move on to the other document, because we say there are two, which is the statement of financial position. So you write number 2, statement of financial position. Statement of financial position. So you write statement of financial position. It is prepared in the following format. It is prepared in the following formats. Amau and Onyango advocates. Statement of financial position. Is X plus. Non-current assets land and buildings. Anaweza kuwa wako nayo, although very few of them have such. Most of them operate on rented premises. Furniture, fittings, and library books. Furniture, fittings, and library books. You take the totals, current assets. This is where you have receivables. We will have work in progress. And specifically, we mean the closing. Work in progress. We have cash, which is in the office, and the one is clients. Disbursements on behalf of cash of disbursements on behalf of clients. You take the subtotals, then the total assets. Then capital, add net profit yenye tulipata kule, less drawings kama ziko, non-current liabilities, kama bank loan, kama iko, sio lazima ikue. I'm assuming ikue. Current liabilities chini yake, payables, accruals. You put the subtotals and then the totals of the totals. Okay, let's proceed on. I hope you're done. There's something I want to clarify about the issue of cash. Okay, the issue of land and buildings, not unless there's depreciation, just subjective. Okay, the most sensitive issue is the issue of cash. Cash, we have two types of cash. Cash which is in the office and cash which is with the clients. Now, cash which is in the office is the cash that you have, your own cash. For example, assuming that you are an advocate, your own money is what we are calling cash in the office. Cash of the client is money you are holding on behalf of your clients. You have possession of the cash, and therefore it's a deemed an asset. Therefore, this is cash you are holding, not your own cash, but cash for the clients. Disbursements made on behalf of your clients, this one, disbursements on behalf of clients, is money you have paid for your clients, but they have not refunded you. So it's a receivable. It's money you have disbursed on behalf of your clients, but they have not yet refunded you. The other issue is that this cash with the clients, I have forgotten to indicate, this cash held on behalf of your clients is as well a liability. Just put it. And the current liabilities, the money you are holding on behalf of your clients is as well a liability, because this is money you are holding on behalf of your clients, and anytime the clients can come in and ask for their money. Therefore, it's what we call an asset cum liability. It's both an asset as well as a liability. So it will appear twice in your statement of financial position. And therefore, having said that, not unless you have a question, we'll move straight away to the past papers. If you have a question, you can raise it. Either verbally or via the chat section. I'll be able to see it. From the look of things, there is no question. And therefore, if there is no question, I would require you to move to the past papers. It's my belief that Kinodia, you have the past papers. Jane has already confirmed that she has it. I do believe that Kinodia, you also have the past papers. And if so, move to November 2018. Move to November 2018. Good, Kinodia, thank you for the confirmation. Move to November 2018 and get for me the question on professional firms. Move to November 2018 and get for me the question on professional firms. I believe, okay, I don't have a copy on my end, but I believe it is around question 4 there. Question 4 or 5. It's about DD associates. Kindly let me know once you identify that question on DD associates. I don't have a copy on my end, but I almost have a copy of it. Once you get it, you can put it in the chat section. It is November. What I'm sure is that it is November 2018, but I'm not sure which question. But I know it's around question 4 or 5, mostly question 5. Jane confirms that it is question 5. So let's get there. Jane has confirmed that it is question 5. I'm giving you 1 minute to go through the question. Just 1 minute. You go through the question. On your own, and then we do it together. Just 1 minute. You see the content of the question, and then we do it together. Just 1 minute. I do believe you're done. With going through the question. And therefore, we can tackle the question together with you now. Are you ready? Are you ready, Kinodia? Jane, are you ready? We go through the question now together. Thank you for the confirmation. Kinodi, are you ready? Good, thank you for the confirmation. So you have the format with you. We start with writing the title. We start with writing the title. The title is BD Associates. BD Associates. Let me adjust my camera. BD Associates. I know they have written statement of comprehensive income. Statement of comprehensive income has been overtaken by events. We no longer use that terminology. We use the term statement of profit or loss. For the year ended, whenever the year is ending, if it's whatever, we will indicate. Then from there, we start with incomes. To be precise, the incomes, we are going to start with the cost charged to clients. As I've told you, I don't have a copy on my end, so kindly be indicating the figures by the chart section. Cost charged to clients, how much? Again, it will assist you to better understand what we are doing. Cost charged to clients. Okay. Just a point of clarification. I remember something. A point of clarification. Add all of them, and present it as a single figure. Okay, you have an option of indicating them separately, but the marking scheme requires you to put them all of them together and present them as a single figure. All the cost charged to client. It doesn't matter whether from civil, from whatever, from criminal, from conveyance. So I can see Jane is saying it is 7,500. Thank you. Our figures are in thousands. And closing work in progress. Always, whenever you are doing a question on financial reporting, anything closing will be provided in the additional information. So the figure of work in progress or incomplete work provided in the additional information is our closing work in progress. So add closing work in progress. Yes, let's go. The one in the additional information. Thank you, Jay. 705. Less opening work in progress. Opening will always be provided in the trial balance. Check for me in the trial balance how much is the work in progress in the trial balance. Thank you, Kinodia. 1104. Work it out for me. Work out the figures for me. So that we get our total income. Kinodia, right? 7101. Let's get the expenses. Let me again give you 1 minute or two to try on your own to put the expenses that you can see from the question. 2 minutes, put all the expenses that you can see from the question, including from the additional information. I've given you 2 minutes to attempt to put the expenses that you can see, and then we go through it together. 2 minutes. Okay, let's go. I know we have depreciation, which is a percentage of the furniture, fittings, and library books. I think, is it 20%? Once you work out depreciation, it is coming to kuna vituko. Okay, nipatieni. Okay, depreciation, somebody kindly, very fast. 270. Bad debts, I think it's 165. Hata kama sina nakumbuka 165. Najua kuna salaries and wages ngapi? $2160. Good. Tuendelee. Najua kuna printing, kuna rent 1800. Kinovia says so. I do apply rents and rates. Kinovia tells us it's 1800. Postage 540. Rent 1050. Rent kulana. Oh, sorry, not rent. Printing and stationery 1050. I think we are done. Total. Total, I think, is what Jane had said, 6246, or I want to believe that what Jane had said. Sorry, general office expenses 255. General office expenses 255. Total expenses. Postage 546. Sorry, 546, not 540. Total expenses. $62.46, just as we had said. I may not be sure. I may not be very sure, but what I know, what I can recall, is I know that surplus or net profit is 855. That one I know. I don't know whether the other figures are right, but I can tell you that for sure the answer is always that the net profit is 855. I don't have a calculator on my end. Correct. Thank you. Let me accept that. I like your cooperation. I like your cooperation. This is a very good beginning. If we go with this mode, these are sure bets. I like your cooperation. I like your cooperation. Yeah, net profit is 855. Net profit is 855. Kinovia, you have not confirmed whether we are together. Kindly confirm. Tupelekane pamoja, tusiache mtu nyuma. Okay, thank you. So that is what you are supposed to do to get the 8 marks. So let's now prepare the statement of financial position. Let's now prepare the statement of financial position. So again, write BD Associates. Title, let's start with the title. BD Associates. Statement of financial position. Assets, 31st October or whatever, never descending. Non-current assets. Furniture, fittings, and library books. after providing for depreciation. What is the value? After providing for depreciation. After providing for depreciation, Jane and both of you are saying that it is 1080. I do concur with you. 1080. Our figures, remember the in thousands. 1080. Current assets. I know we have receivables. Adjust for bad debts. Subtract the bad debts. For the receivables, subtract the bad debts that were written off. You are left with after you subtract the bad debts of 165. I remember the bad debts were 165. After you subtract the 165, how much will be our new receivables? Good, Jane says 2275, confirmed by Kinovia, 2275. Then we have cash, the one which is in the office. In the office, how much? $1671, good. Clients, the one with the clients, 744, right? Then we have disbursements on behalf of clients. $360, right? Then we have closing work in progress. The one is the additional information. 705, good. So, in that regard, get for me our total current assets. Get for me our total current assets. Good. We have agreed that it is 5755 and Kinovia has confirmed. 5755. Add them together. 6835, right? You call that one total assets. Then we have capital. Capital is how much? $62.20. Good. Add the net profit that we obtained of $855, and we less drawings, which I think were they 1,800? How much were the drawings? Sina karatasi upande wangu, that's why I can't use it. Yeah, 1,800. Work it out. $52.75. Both of you have confirmed that. Current liabilities, because we don't have an current like loan. Payables, how much? Payables zinakujia hapo. 816, good. We said that, remember we said this client account is as well a liability. So client account. That's why you can see it has been indicated twice in the trial balance, 744. So the two of them, 816 and 744. $816 plus 744, because we don't have accruals in this question. Hatuna accruals. 1560. Okay. 1560. So add 1560 to 5275. Add 1560 to 5275. $1,560 plus 5275. So is it balanced? Sima balance. Good. It is balanced. It is balanced. That is how you go about professional funds. The most important thing is the format. Because once you don't have the format, you are not able to move. In the absence of the format, it becomes very hard. So make sure that you always have the format with you at your fingertips. Make sure that the format is at your fingertips, so that even if it is missing, you just miss one or two. But at least the general approach is okay. So kindly make sure that the general approach, you are okay. So if you have a question, you can kindly raise it at this point in time. Because that's the end of professional firms. I'm going to give you an assignment, and it will be the end of it. As it seems, there is no question. Okay, thank you for your understanding. Thank you. Okay, I want to take you to the question I want you to do as an assignment. The question of November 2020. I can't remember which question, but let's kindly get to November 2020. Whoever gets it first to tell us which question. I don't have one on my end, but I know it is November 2020. November 2020 question. It must be around question 4 there. It's either 4 or 5. November 2020 question 5 is about a farm. Okay, achana hiyo. Angalia, hiyo ndio tunaelekea next topic. Sio hiyo. Angalia 2022. Angalia 2022 August. Inajiita S&M. I'm not sure. Inajiita S&M advocates or something. Angalia 2022 August. Inajiita S&M. That's what I know. S&M 2022 August. Tukikosa hapo nitakuonyesha mahali tutaitafuta tena. Tafuta hiyo area hata kama uipate kwa hiyo city. I know it's either November 2022 August 2022. Ukikosa hapo utaiangalia April 2022. But I think it is August. Iangalie tu hapo hiyo area. Yeah, August 2022 question 4B, right. August 2022 question 4B. Let's kindly get there. And in case you have any question, you ask me before you go to attempt it. Do you find any problem with that question? Actually, I think what we did, because I was involved in that, we just removed 1 0. We just removed 1 0 from the previous question. If you check properly, you have just removed 1 0. So do you find any problem with that? Will you have any challenge in attempting that question? Okay, both of you have confirmed no. Having confirmed that, let's get to topic number 2, accounting for agriculture. Accounting for farm, accounting for agriculture. IAS 41. Accounting for agriculture, which is IAS 41. Terms used. Terms used. The first one is agriculture. The first one is agriculture. It refers to the act of growing crops and rearing animals. It refers to the act of growing crops and rearing animals. The second one, agriculture is the act of growing crops and rearing animals, is biological transformation. It is the process by which, biological assets give rise to biological produce. Biological assets give rise to biological produce. Biological assets give rise to biological produce. In layman's language, ni kama ng'ombe akipata damu. When a cattle or a cow gives rise to a calf, that is what we call a biological transformation. Number 3, biological assets. Number 3 is biological asset. It is an agricultural resource. It is an agricultural resource from which future economic benefit is expected. From which it is an agricultural resource from which future, I've said, biological assets, it is biological assets or biological assets. It is the process or, okay, I've said biological asset. It is an agricultural resource from which future economic benefit is expected. Number 3. I think number 4, sorry. Number 4. Agricultural concern.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Could you repeat on the biological transformation? My internet was unstable.
It is the process by which biological assets give rights to biological, or if you want, agricultural produce. Biological or agricultural produce. Whichever way. Are you okay now?
Continue. There's a statement that I did not get. It is until then I'm okay.
Then I talked about the third one, which is biological assets. I said it is biological assets. It is an agricultural resource. It is an agricultural resource from which future economic benefits are expected to flow. From which future economic benefits are expected to flow. Are you okay now?
Yes.
Okay. Number next is agricultural concern. Agricultural concern. It is a specialized agricultural activity. It is a specialized agricultural activity. E.g., for example, crop farming, e.g., crop farming, livestock farming, poultry farming, etc. Poultry farming, etc. The other one, a subheading, accounts maintained by agricultural farms. Accounts maintained by agricultural farms. Accounts maintained by agricultural farms. Number one is revenue account. Number one, accounts maintained by agricultural farms. Number one is revenue account. Revenue account. It is prepared in the following format. It is prepared in the following format. Details, crop, livestock. Details, crop, livestock. Like that, details, crop, livestock on both sides. Details, crop, livestock on both sides. Of course, we have the debits and the credits. We start with the credit side. Sales. We can have sales of milk. Of course, that one goes to livestock. Sales of maize, it goes to crop. Sales of cattle, it goes to livestock. Sales of like something like, okay, let's talk of those ones. Then we put closing inventory. We can have closing inventory of fertilizer. Of course, it goes to crop. Closing inventory of growing crops. It goes to crops. Closing inventory of cattle. It goes to livestock. Closing inventory of seeds goes to crop. Cattle feeds, it goes to livestock, like that. On the debit side, we have opening inventory. Maybe opening inventory of growing crops goes to crop. Opening inventory of cattle goes to livestock. Opening inventory of fertilizer goes to crop. Opening inventory of maybe cattle feeds goes to livestock. We then have purchases of maybe fertilizer. Ordinarily, it goes to crop, but I'm going to give an exception. Fertilizer has an exception. Seeds goes to crops. Cattle goes to livestock. other expenses. They can be either for crop or livestock. Then from there, what has happened to our friend Kinoria? Hope she'll come back. Okay. Catch-all fees, that's how you go about it up to that point. Then from there, we have owner's consumption. Maybe the owner of the farm consumed part of the farm produce. Maybe the owner of the farm consumed part of the farm produce. In that case, you put owner's consumption in this side. Owner's consumption on the credit side. He may have consumed either. Maybe he consumed maize. If he consumed maize, it will be under crop column. If he consumed milk, it will be under the livestock column. He can decide even to eat one of the cows. In that case, it will be on the livestock column. Even the workers' consumption. Even the workers' consumption. Whichever way, it is also put there. The workers' consumption is also put under that. The workers' consumption is also indicated under that. So you put the owner's consumption and the workers' consumption on the credit side. Then from there, you can have something like what we call a contra transaction. Contra entry. Contra entry appears on both sides. Contra entry appears on both sides. I'm going to explain what is a contra entry. I will explain right away what is a contra entry. I'm explaining now what is a contra entry. A contra entry, from the understanding of your maybe cash book in your basic financial accounting, I believe that you are told a contra entry arises where a transaction is completed in the cash book, as in it is between cash and bank. And therefore, it appears both on the debit side of the cash book and on the credit side of the cash book. Now, I'm going to bring a contra entry in the context of agriculture. A contra entry in the context of agriculture is a bit different, although it's the same concept. I believe all of us have at some point been involved in directly or indirectly in farming. I'll use an example of maize. Once you harvest maize, you have what we call the left maize stems or the stalks. Those left maize stems in our community, and I believe it is also in our community, mafefe are used to feed cows. See, those mafefes are used to feed cows. So it is usually an output from crop towards livestock. So it is moving from crop, it's an output of crop and an input of livestock. That is one way in which a contra entry can arise. It can also arise in the opposite. For example, once you take manure from the livestock and you put it to crops, it is an output from livestock and an input to crops. So it ends within the revenue account. So that is what we call a contra entry. The examiner will tell you that these maize stalks were used to feed cattle, or this manure was extracted from the livestock and applied to the crops. That is what we call a contra entry. That is what we refer to as contra entry. Once we are done with all these transactions, the balancing figure will be your surplus. It is the balancing figure. You just now make your account to balance. I'm just assuming that it is a surplus. I don't mean that it must be a surplus. At times it can be on the other side, in which case it would be a deficit. If the figure happens to be on the credit, it then means that it is a loss, or rather a deficit. But the normal one should be on the debit side, which should be a surplus. Any question? So that is how you prepare the revenue account of a farm. That's how you prepare the revenue account of a farm. Any question? If you have a question, you can kindly raise it. So if no question, I intend to end the class at that point in time. Let's not prepare the general income statement in a hurry. Let's do it slowly in our next class, instead of doing it in a hurry right now. So that we just come in our next class, do the income statement, do the past paper questions, move on to the next topic. Any question? Do you have any question? According to the timetable that I am having, our next class should be tomorrow in the afternoon at 2. Sometimes I find students having issues with Saturdays. I don't know whether in your case you have issues on with Saturday at 2. You know, do you have an issue with tomorrow at 2? Jane, uko na issue na tomorrow at 2? Jane has no issue. Jane, uko na issue? I'm okay. Jane is okay. Kinodia, do you have any problem with tomorrow at 2? Because you are the pioneer students, I'm going to go with your schedule. I'm going to respect your schedule, so that when others come, wapate kama kitu iko fixed. And when I say issue, I mean serious one. Yenye haiwezi adjustiwa. Yenye unaweza adjust, kindly I request that you adjust. Kinuthia, do you have an issue with tomorrow at 2? Because the other issue, consistency is very important. You can imagine mtu mwenye atakuja kesho na ongelelea maneno yenye hata hajui format nyingine, inakuwa ni shida. Kinuthia, I'm waiting for your response. Okay, let's hope I can see Kinuthia network yake iko inakuja ikipotea, but let's hope she's okay. She's okay, and therefore, and again, before I forget, in case of any, maybe at some point in time, you are stuck, you can just contact me at using my personal number. You can contact me using my personal number. In case you are stuck somewhere, maybe even doing your revision and you're stuck, you can contact me via my personal number, which is 0722 660 211. My personal number. You can call it at any time. In case you are doing your revision and you get stuck, you can just call me through this number and tell me you're stuck and you tell me your problem. I'll be able to help you. I was asking you, Kinuthia, do you have any issue with tomorrow at 2? Because that should be our next class. And that is the time that has been allocated. That is what I was asking before you got lost. So that is a number that, in case of any communication that may not be in class, that is the number that you are supposed to use to call me. So let's talk at that point in time. We meet tomorrow at 2. Let's meet tomorrow at 2. Have a good night. Have a good night.